One of my companies did a contract with a web scale, very large company. It's a CDN, and they were collecting more data than they knew what to do with, which generally is what happens, right?
Yeah.
And it's expensive. Even though it sounds cheap, if you're storing it on the cloud, if you're using a third party,
it's very
expensive. Can get really expensive really quick.
I mean, look, some of my personal experience at Mezocliq started, I was running a BPO company. We were interacting with about 50 million consumers. We were handling about potentially 10 million interactions of some kind a day. And Sumant, to your point, I had watched numerous efforts to get data together and had watched them all go awry someplace. Yeah. And the world is littered with examples of people trying to pull together data warehouses, data, this, that, and the other, and not come together. And so about 10 years ago, I put a group of really smart people to study the data itself, that is, the variables themselves. And we slowly, through analysis, came to the conclusion that the data was actually a lot less complex than it appeared. The team studied about 1 million variables and was able to abstract them down to about 10,000, from which all the others could be derived. Now, this sort of generic data abstraction layer gives us a really powerful tool that we can use to suck data and create a common language for a company. Now, what's the impact of creating that common language? It's not just the predictive power that all the panelists are talking about. I mean, that's obviously very large. But the impact on expense is gigantic. I mean, the reduction in the number of lines of code you have to write to build a system is by orders of magnitude. Our operating expenses came down by a lot. And we're doing that. I mean, we have a very large asset management client for whom we're doing that right now. There's an insurance company. So yes, beware, as you said, the effort's gone awry, but thoughtfully done and with a fundamental look at what the data is, it's very possible. I'll just throw out one little analogy. I don't know what the time frame was, but in the early 70s, when the car companies in the US were getting attacked by their Japanese competitors, one of the exercises they went through was part standardization.
Right.
So that what one plant called a part was the same as what another plant called it, and so on. That was a painful exercise that lasted many years, but it gave the car manufacturers a common language that they could use to then harmonize their company. I think something similar needs to happen and is happening in enterprise data right now.